Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. And I was born July 4th, 1986. Today I'm talking about some dogs in a way that, again, I don't know it all, but there's just some things that I guess I do know, and I have a very good experience with, and that's the concept of a comment that I want to talk about that came from a trainer that I'm very much in respect for, to be able to help me and guide me to be able to get me into the situation I am today. Of understanding dogs for what dogs are, and dogs are dogs, and making sure that I know that a dog is a dog. And that comes down to the man Robert Hines that said, and has said, and has done so much to be able to help me see what a dog actually truly is and what we're supposed to be doing with dogs. Because a lot of what's going on out here is the simple fact that we're getting a dog and we're not giving that dog what it needs. And not what it needs in a way of, I keep hearing this, something that I used to know dogs before I went to this dog training school, and I did completely different stuff. And then I went to a dog training school, and then I started to do what everyone was telling me in a dog training school to do, such as give the dog a job. Okay, guys. Give the dog a job. A dog needs a job. Hey, Shadow, all done? Go home. A dog needs a job, and we got to give a dog a job to be able to, you're good, Johnny, to be able to satisfy that dog. And it's something interesting that, you know, this is new that I'm going to say today. That majority of the dogs that, I don't know what it is, people, but the dogs that everybody likes are farm dogs. Dogs that used to have a specific role to do for farm work, such as a Great Pyrenees. It's supposed to be guarding and being with its animals and being with its flock 24/7. They don't go inside. They don't live inside. Such as a Border Collie. They don't live inside. They don't hang outside. They come out, they do work, they help you move your animals, they help you get stuff done. Such as a cattle dog. What is a cattle dog? Moving cows, moving bulls, moving steers, moving all these things around to be able to help out the said farmer to be able to make its life easier. Such as an Australian Shepherd, such as a Kelpie, such as all these dogs that everybody just really likes. They have a job, and they've always had a job. And it's just this past couple of decades that they no longer have work. Because you know what we don't do anymore? Any kind of farm work. That's something that I learned really fast right away. Right away being out here doing any kind of work with any kind of animals. And that's the concept that all of my animals I've had for a specific reason. I had to look for what I needed to be able to satisfy my needs for what I need. And then me satisfying the needs of what I need, I was able to satisfy the needs of that dog because I'm allowing that dog to be able to do what it does. And I noticed everyone that I said purchase, my rescue dogs, I'm going to say, is a little bit different. And you know, one of my rescue dogs, he's a working dog too. But my pet dogs, my Johnny Man, my May girl, they're completely different type of dogs. That the type of work that they require is not the same as the type of work that, for whatever reason, the dogs that we majority all have inside of our households. We have working dogs, working bred dogs, purpose-bred dogs, and we're trying to treat it as if it's a pet. And then you're wondering why you're running into the issues of why my dog is not listening to me, why my dog is chewing up the whole house, why my dog is barking savagely at everything, why my dog this, why my dog having all these issues with their dogs. And I've just realized that, you know, I don't have these issues with my said purpose-bred dogs, such as a Border Collie, such as a Dalmatian, such as a Pyrenees, such as a German Shepherd. I don't have issues with any of these dogs because they are all doing what it is that I'm looking for them to do. This girl right now, this second, she's not doing what she's doing, but every single morning, I still can't get this dog tired. We went on a 10-mile walk today, and she still looks at me like, everything's all good. So I can't wait to see what she's capable of, doing what it is that she was created to do. A coach running and a coach pulling dog. They run 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 miles a day. That's what this dog was created to do. And the same thing with my German Shepherd. They're created to walk. They're not much of a running dog. They're walk, sniff, search, guide, look, protect, guard. And they're on edge. They're walking. And I walk that dog to the point that he's exhausted. He can't go no more than 14, 15 miles. And that's what he's desiring every day. And then I got this dog here. Oh, you can get up, man. I got this Border Collie here. He's designed to help me move animals around and keep everything, and for one, me safe out here is one thing that he's really good at being able to do. Making sure that I'm good to go and making sure that all the animals are in check, in order. If I got a stressed out animal, he'll come in and help that animal be able to get out of that stress. Or get down. You were doing good. No, not doing good. Now you're not doing good. This girl's in heat right now, and he's on like a freaking 1,000. All my boy dogs are. But everyone have a purpose. And they have a need. They were designed and created to do something very specific for us as human beings. And now that we don't have that purpose for them, and we're not giving them that outlet, and we don't have anything that we desire for them to do with that outlet, it makes sense to me of why we're having so many issues with so many different dogs. I run into the case when I get a lot of said mixed breed dogs, where they're I don't know what it is, but it's almost like as soon as you start mixing the breeds, it's like they're no longer capable of doing any sort of work anymore. They're not like a working dog at all anymore. They've turned into something completely different. Or get out of here, get down. They turn into something completely different. And they no longer have this like desire to work. And that's why to me it's a very fascinating thing of seeing a difference of what I'm going to say pet dogs are and working dogs. I don't know why, but I just see a lot of mixed breed dogs. They're just not successful working dogs. It's almost like they just like, we're completely done, we're out of it, and we don't know what to do. And maybe they don't know what to do because half of them is one way and the other half is the other way. And another quarter is this way and another quarter is that way. That they don't know what to do. So they're just like, just tell me what to do. And for that dog, I'm going to say, put it on place. That may be work for it. Doing obedience work for it. That may be work for it. But it's still not going to say fulfill the internal dog's just needs, because they're dogs. And I think that's something that, and I want to do more research on. The simple question, what is a dog? That's something that I think a lot of us are just getting so confused with. We're wondering why we're having so many issues. Why do I have, and I don't know what it is, but the Australian Shepherds, they bark, man. And why do you think that they bark? Why do you think they bark at every moving thing? Why do you think they barking at cars and leaves and just even just still inanimate objects, especially inanimate objects that are just so like statues, because they're trying to get it to move. And what do as in their instinct to get stuff to move? They bark. They're barkers, man. Border Collies aren't much of barkers. They stare at it. They give it that hard just they use that eye and stare at it. Kelpies, what do? They bark. All these dogs, they bark, 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 bark. What do, what's another real good dog? Yorkies. What do? They chase and hunt small vermin, all the way from small cats to rats, to rabbits, to all this stuff. And they go into the deepest, darkest crevices. They are so bold. They are just so courageous to be able to do such a thing. And that's something that we're not allowing them to do that. And then we're wondering, why is my dog barking? Because the dog has all this energy to bark, 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 to go and get what it wants to do. And we're not giving it to them. And these dogs all have a purpose. And all these dogs that I'm listing here were all utilized, not even 50 years ago, on a day-to-day, all-day basis. Because more people, especially say 100 years ago, especially say the day that we were deciding to start selectively breeding to start creating animals. We were creating animals to be able to have help on our farms. And that's what majority of people were doing 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years ago. It's just today, this past, 30 years, that no one's around what they see in all of my videos. No one's around this stuff. This is like so foreign in majority of all countries at this point. It's not just the United States of America. I was thinking it was just America for a while, and I'm realizing, no, it's just across the board, man. Like, this is just starting to become not the norm. But yet we have all these dogs that were created to do the work that all of my dogs are doing for me, and yet we have no work for them to do. And we're wondering why we're having issues. And that's where there's other dogs that are fascinating, such as a poodle. A poodle was created not to do any sort of farm work, not sort of any kind of anything in reality, but just be a pet dog to us. And that's something that, as much as I'm not big on the whole creating and doing all this stuff, but if you're looking for that dog, like, that's the dog that you're really looking for. The dog to hug and take care of and brush and hold and do its nails every day and wash it every other day and spend 4 hours every single day brushing it. That's the dog that you're really looking for. Not a German Shepherd, not a Kelpie, not an Australian Shepherd, not a Collie, not any of those dogs. Those dogs in reality are going to drive you absolutely insane, because you're not fulfilling that dog's needs, and it doesn't have its purpose to do anymore. And we're not breeding those dogs anymore because people, the main thing is people are wanting it because of its look, because of how look. That's the number one reason that I know that people are buying dogs is look. I'm getting a dog because it looks like this, not over what it does. And we need to really research everything about what's that dog's purpose. What's that dog? What did we as humans decide one day? We were just sitting around like, I need a dog to be able to this for me. That's something I could say with this little Dalmatian here. Someone one day was sitting around looking at dogs and said, you know what? I need a dog to be able to go with me long distances, to be able to help protect me and guard me with my horses when we go riding town to town. Back in the days, 2,000 years ago, when we were going by candlelight when we were going town to town was hundreds of mile stretches here. And we need a dog to be able to have the right stamina to be able to keep up with that. A dog to be able to have the right temperament to be able to stay away from worrying about chasing deer and chasing anything and chasing stuff. And worry about just staying with us and being able to do that. Then they were like, let's breed this and breed this and breed this and breed this. And then bam, this thing came out. And then they're like, this is working, this is working, this is working, this is working. And then if you want to get this dog and put it in your house and thinking, oh, I'm going to take it around the block a half a mile every single day, this dog is going to destroy your entire world. And this is what I see with a lot of people's dogs and why you're having the said issues that are going on. Because you have a dog that was created to do something, and we are not doing that something with that dog. And that's what we're struggling with. And that's something today that in reality is going to put a lot of people in a jam. And a lot of, oh, well, Mark, what do I do? I don't live on no farm like you. I didn't choose, I chose this, but I ended up here. You know, I didn't just get a dog and say, oh, I need to fulfill my dog's needs, so I got a farm to be able to work my dog. No, it worked the opposite way from that. I didn't get the dog until I got a need for that dog. I didn't just get the dog. And that's why a question I ask a lot, every single person, is why did you get this dog? Why do you have a dog? Why is there a dog here? What do you need this dog for? And it's something that I don't think a lot of us are figuring out or even asking that question still. And I can make 1,000 videos on that. And I don't think that even when I say that, you're still not like thinking it through like, yeah, why do I have this dog in my house, in my bed, looking at me naked, being all around me, eating food next to me, eating my food and stealing my food and doing all this with me? Why is this dog here? And we're running into a very, very sticky situation. And that's why for me, in reality, the only way that you're going to get the set help that you're really, really looking for, to be able to have that super nice, super calm, super responsive, just absolutely loving dog, is by making it do what it was bred to do. And that's going to be a situation that's going to be, or get out of here, be very, very challenging for a lot of people. Because like, if you have a border collie that is very, very high drive, you need to find a way to be able to get that dog's energy out. And even around here in Texas, there's 3 facilities that have places that train and work with and allow you to have your dogs go and work sheep and work cotton. I don't know about the cows. They got the sheep though. They got the sheep, they got the goats. There's places to be able to do that with your dog. And it's not something in reality that they even have to do every single day. It's something that once a week, even once every other week, that it can be able to give that dog that outlet to look forward to say, I could do what I'm supposed to do. And a lot of these dogs need that. They cannot go without that. They can go for some time. They can go a little while. And that's one thing that I've noticed with Great Pyrenees. Man, I don't know what it is, but they're starting to become like pets, and they're not. As much as I could say my dog is soft and he's pet-like, but he still has the desire in him that if another dog comes into his territory, he gonna kill it. I'm very weary of all of my dogs around this dog. That's why just recently I've had to keep blocking him up a little bit more and not let him interact with everything, because when my dogs start pushing the chickens around, he gets into defense mode. Like, I'm about to take you out of here. I'm about to, you not messing with my flock. You not messing with my stuff. And they hit an age where it just like clicks, and they're just like, I'm a man or I'm a woman. And they change. They go from sweet and cuddly and soft to one day they're the only word I can use is what they are, aggressive, is because that's what they were created to do. They were created to be weary of all dogs. If a dog comes onto the farmland, you better push it out of here, or if it doesn't, you're big enough, you're built enough, you're strong enough, you're sturdy enough to kill it, to go to fight and go to battle with it. And I run into scenario after scenario, helping people with Great Pyrenees, that they encounter that shift. That they were a puppy, they're just as sweet. My dog, he's 3.5 and he still acts like a puppy. There's gonna be a day that he's just gonna shift, and it's just gonna go absolutely wild. Get out of here. It's gonna go absolutely wild. Wild to the point that he's gonna look at everything completely differently. And they are so cute, they are so nice, they are so great. And everyone always has that one that's like, oh, it's just like that one Belgian Malinois that's just so soft and so passive, just like that one Border Collie that is just so soft, but that's not the all of them. That's like the 0.000% of them. The all of them, the majority of them, the most all of them are created to do something. And that's something that I think a lot more people, many times as I tell people what a Great Pyrenees is, they have no idea. The same way when I tell people what a donkey is, they have no idea, absolutely no idea what the purpose of a donkey is. So we're getting dogs without knowing anything about anything on them. And then we're thinking that what we see is what that dog is basically going to continuously be. And that's very, very deceiving, because you're going to end up in a situation that it's going to start to become dangerous for you. And that's with all these dogs. I've worked so many border collies in people's homes that unfortunately, every single person that outside of one, I've only had, but this is the one unique border collie that was pet-like. But every single working border collie that I've ever worked with, they always got rid of the dog. They had to get rid of the dog because they couldn't keep up with it, because the dog started guarding. It will guard the wife and the husband. It will bite the husband to the point of it's going for damage. I've seen this over and over again. I've seen this over and over with German Shepherds, that they don't have the outlet to do what they do, and they start to protect someone in the household, and they are destroying, absolutely destroying. Or get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get down. Now you're on a firm down. Get down. Stay down. They start destroying because they're doing what it is they're supposed to do, and they don't have that outlet to be able to make anything happen. I've gotten my Shepherd to be able to completely calm down, completely relax, because I take him on 10 to 15, 16-mile walks, and I allow him to sniff and search and do what he does the entire way, along the way, to drain all of his energy out. If I don't do that for 3 days, he turns into an absolute psychopath. He is just everywhere. He's just zooming, going wild, going crazy. And the same with this dog, I noticed. Day one I got her, she was wild. And then today, since we've been walking every day, they calm down. And they're doing what it is that they're supposed to do. And this dog in specific, I'm going to end up having to get a treadmill because I'm not going to be able to keep up with the demands that she needs. I want her to be able to do 20, 30-mile runs with me, but it's not like I'm going to be running those 25 miles every single day. That's me twice, maybe 3 times a week at max. But she's going to want to do that every single day. So a day that I go for a 15-mile walk, she's like, I still get down. I still have a whole lot more to do, a whole lot more to go. I still have a whole bunch that I need to take care of. So I got to have to put her on a treadmill to make sure that she's getting everything that she needs. And that's something that I don't think a lot of us are paying any attention to with what the dogs need. Because a lot of these dogs that we just think are so pretty and so awesome, that I get it. They are pretty. They are awesome. They are like just the best dogs. But if we're not giving them what they need, you're running into disaster. You're running into absolute disaster. I still have yet to see a German Shepherd be nice without being, the nicest ones I see are the ones I see that they're out on the trails. They're out doing miles of walking where the dog is running, zipping, running, doing what it's doing, and the human is just walking. That's the only ones that I personally see that are like nice, that are really nice. They're going on 3, 4, 5, 6-mile walks every day, and the dog that's zooming is doing double, triple that, because it's doing so much more extra, and it's running, it's sprinting, it's stopping, it's coming, it's doing all this stuff. Those are, in reality, only ones that I see are nice. When I try to convince that dog to do obedience work and to do play stays and do all this stuff, the dogs are just, they're giving you so much pushback. They're just like, they're ready to fight, man. They're ready to go to battle. And that's not something that the dogs are needing. That's the stuff that in the dog school stuff that will say, oh, they need a job, we need to give them a job. You can't give an animal, human beings, we could do this. If I don't care to work with dogs, I can, in reality, force myself to do such a thing, to be able to have a living. If I don't care to do roofing or do construction work, I can force myself to still be able to make a living and still be able to, in the end, in reality, satisfy myself. But you cannot do that with a dog. A dog has an instinctual need and desire behind it that we can't just, I got myself a Dalmatian, and I don't really do walks like that. I want to be able to just, get it to do tricks and get it to do trick dog, for instance. I want it to do that. You can't just change the dog's desires like that. You just can't say, you good. You just can't say, I just want to get it and just, that's what we're going to do because that's what I like. And I think that's where, no, I don't think that. I know that's where a majority of us are failing right now with dogs inside of our houses, because we're not giving that dog what it actually is looking to do. We're trying to switch it up and saying, I like this, so I want my dog to do this, as opposed to saying to the dog that this is what the dog is. This is what it's all about. And even, anyone can challenge me with this, especially when it comes down to certain dog sports. A lot of people like to put border collies in dance to heel work and agility and things like that. Those dogs are still psycho. They're still just crazy and absolutely wild. They're still that way because they're not getting the fulfillment. They're getting the running, they're getting the jumping, they're getting that, but they're not getting the stalk and stare at the prey. They're not getting the opportunity to chase and move the prey. They're not getting the chance to be able to put its teeth and be able to move the prey. They're not doing any of that. It's a whole process that the dogs are needing, and they're not getting that. And that's something that, if you already have a dog that is that. You already have yourself a border collie and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. You have no choice at this point because you already have it. You're already invested into this. You're already in this to find somebody I don't care if you got to drive hours away to find somebody to help you be able to get his drives met. To find someone who has sheep or cows or something that's trained to do such thing, that's able to help train you to be able to get your dog to be able to do that, to be able to give your dog that outlet, to be able to make sure that it's able to get its release. All these dogs need this. But a lot of these, I don't know what it is, but a lot of these mixed breed dogs, they're not really there yet. They're just like they're in and out. And them being in and out, there's something that is fairly simple to just do the said obedience work to give it a job, to do keep it in a perfect heel to fulfill its job. But that's not unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but I see people have more issues with purpose-bred dogs than any dog that they don't know what the breed actually is, or they do a DNA and it's a 50 of this and a 20 of this and a 10% of this. I see people have more issues with purpose-bred dogs than with the mixed one, and it's just weird to me. And when I just keep seeing the same stuff over and over, there's something going on here. There's something going on. There's something going on in the way that we as humans are inappropriately getting things and doing stuff that's just slowing us down and is damaging us because we're not doing what the dog is actually needing. We're getting it because what it looks like as opposed to what it's able to do for me. And that's the question that I'm going to continuously keep asking. Why do you have a dog? What's the dog for you? Because I know exactly, and that's something that I can say. It's very simple for me to be able to answer. But when you're stumbling and fumbling, that's something to really think about. I could tell you every reason. I could tell you a whole 15-day story on every single one of these animals that I have. I mean, every animal I have, down to the donkey, even to the pig. I have a pig. I don't even eat pork, but I have a pig because any kind of waste that I have, any of my food that I have, anything, he eats it all, man. He makes everything disappear. So I have a pig for that specific purpose, not because it just sits there and it's pretty, not because I can just go out there and pet him, which you can't. He's cool. He kind of the highlight of the farm. I don't know what it is about the pig. Everybody loves the pig. Everybody got a different name. He's got at least a dozen names right now. Everybody keeps different naming him. I don't have a name for him. But every single thing, I'm like, this is why I have this and this is what it's for. And I did an extensive amount of research to figure out what it is and what it's all about and what it's going to be able to help me out with. And that has allowed me to be able to just have fun and peace of mind and chill and have a better life, as opposed to wondering like, why is this dog here? And if you haven't, I'm telling you, you have no choice to figure out what the needs are of that dog and start to do that, or you're just going to continuously keep on struggling. A lot of us are thinking that we need this perfect obedience stuff and all this stuff, and that's not fulfilling any of the dogs. The only obedient stuff that pretty much anybody does with certain dogs, especially if you have like a German short-haired pointer, is you're going to try to teach that dog obedience routines. That dog is trying to go hunt something. That dog is trying to go stand and trying to go stalk something. The dog is trying to go point on something to let you know that something's there for you to be able to shoot because it's about to get it. You put obedient stay on that dog to make sure that it don't ruin your situation so that it don't fly away too soon before you get the shotgun up. A lot of this stuff that we're doing is not natural. And that's one thing that I just keep saying and keep saying and going to continuously keep saying is these things are not natural. They're so foreign. They're so strange. And it's not natural to the dog to understand what it is that we're looking for. And that's where I say we're forcing the dogs to do things that are just not, when it's not natural. A dog doesn't understand what the heck a heel command is. And that's not working the dog. Working the dog is getting it to do what it's supposed to do. And getting it to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for it to realize that it's going to be able to get that and be able to have that satisfaction. And it's not a matter of getting it to sit better and getting it to down better. It's so foreign to a dog. There's just rarely ever a time, because even with this border collie, I have him do downs when he moves the cows because he gets a little too antsy, especially if he's moving a chicken. If he's standing, he's still, but it's still too much pressure on the animal that I'm just like, lay down. And then when the cow sees him lay down, they just calm down and they move around a little easier. So I incorporate that down for when he's working to be able to make sure that I can get the stress off the animals and be able to make it work easier for me. But in reality, most of these commands, as far as what we use for our work, it is absolutely meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. The dogs are as quick to stand and want to be on their feet. And I just keep seeing this over and over and over from a lot of people. When your dogs are just going absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And then you have no idea what the need for that dog, why it was bred, why it was created, and you're wondering why you're having issues. Why are there problems? Why are you having situations? Because you're trying to give the dog something that it was not intended to do. And then when you continuously keep on doing that, you're going to continuously keep on running into fights and running into battles. And that's something that I can say with this Border Collie that y'all watch every single one of my videos when I have to constantly keep speaking to this boy and telling him, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down, saying it 1,000 times to this dog because it is so foreign to him. But if I tell him, let's go put these chickens up if there's any loose ones after we get done with this video, this boy will work flawlessly. Without me having to speak a single word, he will just work just beautifully. No hostility between us. He's just getting stuff done. We're having fun. Everything is a blast. We're having a dang on good time. And it's so peaceful. But as soon as I'm like, get down, this is so foreign and strange and weird to a dog, especially a working dog, especially a purpose-bred working dog to do a specific job. They come out, do work, and they go back away when that work's not needed anymore. And that's what I love about me a Border Collie for a farm work, because he's a dual purpose, move the animals and protect me. So I keep him around me at pretty much all times. He's on his feet, making sure nothing's coming up behind me. And that's something that is dangerous when it's only doing one part of its job, which is that protection work. Same thing with German Shepherd. It's dangerous if the dog is only doing protection work and it's not doing its sniff and search work. It's not doing its man, they love to patrol. I don't know what it is about Shepherds. I don't know what it is about Malinois. I don't know what it is about these dogs, but they love to patrol. They love to walk and just keep everything good. They love to walk, mark everywhere, and just I was here, and just verify that they marked it like 1,000,000 times. They just love to be on the move, walking around, walking. That's what they love to just do. I just watch them just enjoy life like crazy, just going for walk after walk after walk after walk after walk. And they're just really, really nice dogs when that is what they're able to do. And when we're out here telling a dog, no, I want you to stay in this tiny little yard. I don't care if you have even 10 acres, this tiny little yard, and just stay here all day and don't do anything and don't like take it for a walk to be able to get 2 or 3 hours worth of walking out in a day. It's going to start to get just not right. And I'm telling you, you watch, that's one thing I can challenge anybody with a German Shepherd with. You take that dog for a walk every day, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 miles. And I'm going to say that you're going to watch your dog transform to all the behaviors that you're thinking are so bad and so negative and so wrong. And my dog is guarding, my dog is barking everywhere, my dog is this. If you take that dog for that walk, I'm almost going to guarantee you that you're going to see majority of those issues disappear. Because the dog is going to finally be able to do what it wants to do, what a dog doing what dogs do. A dog needs to get out and move and get stuff done. I'm just going to almost guarantee you that that stuff's going to disappear. But in one, who got the time to do that? And if you don't, make time and do it as a challenge to see. This weird guy on his farm says, if I just walk my dog a couple more miles a day, maybe you only walk it for a half mile and think that's satisfying enough, but walk it for 8 miles and see day after day after day what happens with that dog. Just try it. Just try it and see what happens. What if that solves your issue? And that means that, hey, maybe instead of watching that TV show tonight, you better get a book on your phone on Audible and you start listening to that while you go for a walk. You need to change your routine up a little bit to be to satisfy your dog's needs. You're already in it. Now, if you don't, you're trying to figure out what kind of dog you want, what kind of dog you want to be able to add to your life, then you need to start researching what you do and what you're looking for. And then get that dog, who cares what it looks like, and get that dog that's going to be able to work for you. And if you don't know, go to the shelter and pick a dog up, because that dog's going to work for you. I don't know what it is, but those dogs just, for whatever reason, just constantly keep on wanting to work. If you don't know what it is, you don't know what kind of breed it is, it's a mix of this and this and this, it's confusing to me on how they're just such great, say, pet dogs. Like my Johnny man back here. He looked like a shepherd, but he mixed with this and mixed with that. And if I take him for more than a 3-mile walk, he looks at me like I'm abusing him. He's like, dude, you crazy. I don't do that type of stuff. I go lay down, I relax, I chill. I'm calm. That's all I do. And that's all he's about. The second that you try to do too much with them, it just starts to go absolutely wild. And that's most all of the shelter dogs that I see. Me walking a dog today, he got exhausted. We walked maybe 2 miles. This dog is looking at me like, dang, dude, like, this is too much. Whereas this dog, 2 miles isn't even a warm-up. She's looking for at least 20 already. And I'm like, you're too young to go that far, but still, I'm just basing it off of what she's given to me, what she's doing and how she is and how she's acting. She went for what did we do, 12 miles today, and she's still like, almost like we could do that that again right now. That's what she is. That's what she's all about. That's why I absolutely love her. And that's why me and her are always going to have a great pairing together. You get the dog that's living for what you're doing, what's going on in your life, not the opposite way. Because that's where you're going to start to struggle, because you're going to have the dog that you got the wrong one because you didn't know what it is that you got. Now you're going to have to figure out how to be able to fulfill that dog's needs. And now you're going to have to be on extra duty to be able to kind of change your life up a little bit to be able to come towards that dog to make it to be good for you. And there's just no amount of obedience training to be able to work with instinctual problems that are going on with the dogs. There's just no amount of that. I don't want to guarantee, but there's just no amount. The dogs have to do what the dogs do. And people have great success with like Dobermans. And I mean, all these dogs are farm dogs, Dobermans, Rottweilers, all these things. And we're having great success with doing certain sports with them and doing the protection sports and doing these things, because that's what the dogs are in reality made and created to do, is do that protection style work, do that biting work, do that guarding work. So these dogs are having success, but it's for these people to get up, find a local club, and go to it every single week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, and get their dogs to be able to get that outlet out. And then they have like the greatest, sweetest, best, super nice, super chill dogs. Yeah, you need a slip leash on, girl. This leash don't work for this situation. But and then you have the nicest dog. But if you're constantly just thinking that I'm going to be able to get my dog to do a downstay and it's going to be able to satisfy its needs, you're going to be sadly mistaken that you're going to run into a battle. You're going to run into a situation. And I don't know what it is that there's so many dogs, so many where I would say is purpose-bred dogs in the shelters. And they're there because you ran into that scenario that I've seen at least 5 border collies this past year that all had to get rehomed. And when people, it's not that easy to just get rid of a dog that is biting people. And so where do you think that it goes? Either it gets dumped somewhere and it ends up in the shelter, or they try to give it to a rescue place, and the rescue place, they don't know what the heck to do with these dogs. They can barely deal with dogs that are nice dogs and try to rehome them, let alone dogs that have serious issues to the point that they're willing to put teeth or hurt or harm or destroy something. And it's just very, very devastating. But it's something that is I'm going to say easy to solve, but not simple to solve. Get down. Not simple in any way. Not simple because you're going to have to do something that is more likely going to be very, very foreign to you, very, very new to you, very, very different. If you got yourself, like I said, I challenge anybody with a German Shepherd, take it for a walk. I'm going to walk. If you can't walk it, you get you a bike. If you can't pedal, you got these fancy electric ones now that you don't even need to pedal. They can go like 50 or 100 miles on one charge. Get you a bike, get your dog on leash, get you one of these bungee leashes, and you get you a nice harness on that, nice pulling harness on that dog, and you just get going. And you let that dog get going. And they got these cool scooters now that are big, bike-like tires on it that are more safe. It's lower to the ground, so you put your helmet on, put your elbow pads on, put your knee pads on, and get out there and let your dog go. And I'm telling you, you're going to watch things just keep getting better and better and better, because that's what the dog wants to do. A lot of y'all got a lot of bully breed dogs. Some of them are on that fight stance. Others of them are on they got that prey drive. This is the crazy amount of prey drive. They have excessive energy. And put a harness on that dog, a pulling one, and put a leash on that dog, get you a bike, and run that dog. It's not going to need to run 50 miles every single day. The first day might take that, but not 50 miles. I have yet to see a dog go 50 miles other than you got you a Husky? My goodness, that's like the new dog of today. You got you a Husky, a Malamute, all these dogs. Those dogs are bred to do 50 to 100 mile running, pulling a day. And then you're going to put it in the house and take it for a walk around a small block and think that you're going to satisfy that dog's needs. And that's why you're running into, why are these dogs digging these craters? They're trying to go to the other side of the earth in my backyard. Why are these dogs chewing up and ripping my entire household apart? Why are these dogs doing all these things? Because these dogs, the ones that are purpose-bred on the farms, where they're not sled pulling farms, they're not chewing their houses to smithereens. They're not just destroying everything around them. They're doing that in your house because they're not getting what they need. Those dogs are getting ran. They're getting worked. They're getting pushed. They're getting the exercise that they need. And in reality, again, they don't need it every single day. They don't need it. They need to know that they are going to be able to get the outlet when they start to get that crazy buildup. That crazy buildup. For me, like my German Shepherd, it's 3 days. He can't go every 3 days. If I don't walk him for 3 days, he turns into something that I can barely control myself. And I work with dogs that are pretty crazy every day. And he turns into something that is just savage, man. He is jumping, he's wiggling, he is not listening to a single thing that I say. I don't even care what kind of collar I put on him. He is not with it. But he's a little different than the average shepherd I see. He's one of those like just extreme energy, just like how this girl is. Just all three of my dogs are like, they can go for days, man. I love that. That's me though. That's what I do. And that's why I have each one of them, because that's who I am and what I'm all about. And that's something that we should all really be thinking about, that these dogs need to be worked. They don't have their job to do anymore. And it's not like we could just create a new job for them. We have to get them to do what it is that they were made to do. Maybe one day we'll have border collies that are more pets and be able to hang out like what poodles are. Maybe one day. But we can't just have that today, because it's going to take generations, like our human generations, to start creating what we're doing today with dogs. Whereas just 50 years ago, they were primarily outside. They were primarily for a very, very specific purpose. They're primarily here to be able to do something that we needed them to do. Not just be a pet dog to have to pet it while we're just watching TV. Not to be there with us while we're just sleeping and laying in bed with us. These dogs are starting to come into something different, and we're trying to fast track them. Thinking, I like me a Doberman, so I want to just go ahead and get it and put it in the house with me. They're not there yet. They're not there. We don't have dogs that are just instantly went from working purpose to just instantly at this point now that they're going to be a great pet for you. This is something that is going to take time to create the dogs to be able to be and do something different. We're not going to get that overnight, and we're expecting that. You're thinking, I'm going to get me a cattle dog, and it's going to be good to just sleep on the couch with me. I'm going to get me an Australian Shepherd, and it's just going to hang out with me. Aussies work for 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, running, moving, barking, yapping, nipping, going crazy, man. They go crazy. They're wild freaking dogs. And then we're going to try to take it for a mile walk a day and thinking that's going to give it its outlet. We're thinking we're going to do an agility session with it once a month and thinking that that's going to get its needs met. And it's just not. It's just not. And that's something that I don't know. I pay more and more attention to the people's dog when they got a nice dog. I'm always looking at what they're doing with that dog and what their lifestyle is like with that dog. And some people look at my dogs, and especially like my shepherd, like, oh, that's a nice dog. I say, you don't want this dog, because if you can't keep up with what his demands are, he's gonna bite your face off. And that dog, unfortunately, would and is willing to do such a thing. But the only reason that he's not is because I treat him with respect, I show him respect, and I give him what he's looking for and what he desires. And I'm not demanding anything more from him than that. I'm not trying to force him, because that's where we butt heads with that obedience stuff. He's like, dude, I don't care about this. I don't care. And that's what I see in the majority of dogs. They don't care about that stuff. They don't listen better. They don't respond better. They don't care more about you. They care more about you when you are able to fulfill their needs. That's like one thing right here. This girl right here is in the middle of her heat cycle in that section where it's like, it's ready to go. And for him to just, he pushy, but I can't blame him. He a 5-year-old dude, and he got a young little girl right here. I don't blame him. I can't blame him. I got my Pyrenees over there. He's standing there staring at us the whole time, and I don't blame him. But there's one thing that I'm able to communicate to him, something that I'm looking for that even is still foreign to him. That to me it just shows me something, I don't know, that is just incredible in a way that it's like, couldn't get that if he didn't have to be able to do what he does. Because this dog would try to bite me. I've seen this with dogs inside of households where if you challenge that male to get away from that female, that everyone in the house is in danger, because he gonna get that girl. And that's where I'm gonna say is majority of us run into the situation that we have inappropriate breeding going on. Because that dog challenged that human. It said, you're not telling me no. That's a girl in heat right there. I'm getting that. And you try to grab that dog to pull it away, and that dog it's not willing, it will. It puts teeth on you. And you're like, oh, yep, never mind. And then the breeding happens, and then you got puppies. And because it's something that you're not gonna fix through obedience work. You're gonna fix through relationship by giving that dog that outlet to be able to do what it's supposed to do. That's just the only thing that I've seen with people that have just crazy nice dogs. Ask them about their schedule and what they do with that dog. And they always will have, I do this, and it always lines up with what that dog is all about. It's got nothing to do with how great that obedience routine looks. That's just a fraction of being able to fulfill the dog's needs. The majority of the dog's needs need to be met by what that dog's original purpose was. And that's something that a lot of us should really just focus more of our time on to figure out how to be able to get our dogs better in the house. Thank you.